one thing, and again, I've had this recently. So for those of you who follow me on Facebook or LinkedIn, you'll have seen that my 11-year-old daughter Heidi has set her own business up. So I wouldn't be a good dad if I didn't plug her business. So if you want to go buy some scented wax melts, you can go to ecowaxmelts.com now. She's got her own website. But what's been interesting about that is I've been sharing some more personal stories on LinkedIn, and what people, I sort of sometimes find myself when I'm on LinkedIn trying to work out, am I still on LinkedIn or am I actually in Facebook? And the stories are becoming a lot more personal. And I suppose it goes a bit back to what you were saying before, Mike. Do we have to be more genuine, or is it okay in business to business now to share a personal story, be a bit more vulnerable? I don't know what people think about that. So I don't know, Tiff, what do you think about being a little bit more personal and vulnerable on LinkedIn? Is it becoming more like Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, I think those real authentic stories give someone an impression of who you are and what you do. I'm fortunate enough that over the years I managed to take most of all this off, and I put on a really cheeky out of office message on my out of office on my general email, and it said something like I'm surfing, I'm in Cornwall with my family, and quite frankly, if you've got a juicy piece of new business, I will pull myself out of the surf for you, and don't worry, consistent clients, you'll be well catered for by the team, but I'll be back in September. And I got new business during the summer, but I also got a lot of positive commentary on that cheeky personal message. Now, that's not about being vulnerable, of course, but it is about showing a side of yourself that you're not afraid, and you're able to take time off. There's obviously there's a bit of I'm okay and successful in running my business to take a bit of time off and to showcase that, but I think more and more people want a better sense of yourself. They want to know who they're doing business with, and picking up on some of the things that were said earlier. We can't see everyone, well, not all of everyone, and then we're missing some of those visual cues that we might get in meeting people face to face. So giving people a better sense of who you are, I think, is appropriate. And I think it's also, like you said, appropriate on LinkedIn more than just perhaps the personal stories on Facebook too.
Any thoughts on that, Phil, about being more personal and being a bit more open?
Yeah, as you know, you and I have discussed, there's a lot of research been done over the last 30, 40 years about how people like people much more if they don't appear to be perfect, that if they are fallible, they do make mistakes, and they are honest, and they genuinely care. And given that's what it's like in the real world, why shouldn't it be like in this virtual world, that we're not perfect, we do make mistakes, and give of yourself. It makes you a better leader, a better person if you give of yourself. Talk about your family a little bit, by all means. I'm quite charmed that you have an 11-year-old who's got her own website. Isn't it great? It's a nice little story.
Yeah, and that, sorry, Linda.
Looking at things from the opposite end of the spectrum as well, as a business that does a lot of proactive kind of outbound prospecting work, it's gold when somebody puts something about themselves or their family on LinkedIn. Because if I send you an email that talks about our product or our service, or just says, can we have a call? That's probably just going to, you probably won't spot that in your inbox. If you posted something on LinkedIn a couple of days before about your 11-year-old boy, and he was he scored his first goal at football. If I send you an email and the subject title is your 11-year-old son's goal, you will open that email.
Yeah,
and it shows that you're engaging, and it's not just mass communication. So I think there's a very positive angle to it for people doing B2B sales in particular.
Yeah, and also why I always make a spelling mistake in my Facebook posts and my emails is just because I'm not perfect. Just it's on purpose.